there's a good chance you've seen his products before you've ever heard his name. This is Piers, founder of global brands Salt Grooming and Hydrte. But it all started with a day job and an obsession. Late nights and early mornings alongside a chemist perfecting one product nobody but him believed in. Until one TikTok blew everything the f up. Orders flooded in overnight and he quit his job the next morning. From packing 200 orders alone in his London flat to a team of 10 and global media features in GQ and The Telegraph. But none of it looked like this on the inside.
It almost feels like insanity when you're doing it sometimes. You're like pouring like your heart, your soul, your time, your money, your resources into this thing that is returning nothing.
Yeah.
And you're doing it for years.
He kept going anyway, and today he's pouring the same obsession into his second brand, Hydrte.
Oh my days, bro, that's true, bro.
And into his dream home he's building in Bali. But even with such a magnetic personal brand that changed his journey once and for all, his last post was 8 months ago. Why walk away from leverage most creator entrepreneurs would kill for? To find out, we flew to Bali to go behind the brand of Piers.
Welcome to Bali. Flew out again to meet another very interesting personal brand. Morning, man. How are you, my guy? Hey!
Just to warn you, the dogs are probably gonna go crazy when you come in.
I see it.
So I just
I
thought
don't
I'd come out
mind.
and meet you out here just to let you know.
I appreciate that.
I think she's gonna allow you entry, so
Yeah?
I'm gonna see if I can get
Hey, Lina.
I swear to God, if you grab me, I'm gonna bite the f out you.
Piers lives in a stunning place, but this villa is just the template. 5 minutes down the road, he's building his dream home from the ground up.
So we're using this as the basis,
Yeah.
as like a template, and then we're building a kind of copy of this, but like my version of it just down the road. So we'll go see that in a bit. But yeah, no, I love it here, man. Such a peaceful area.
Before we get into how Piers builds brands, we start the day the way he does. A beautiful run through the rice fields behind his home. And on the way, he tells me about the night that changed his life.
Yeah, so I was in London for 10 years working in creative agencies for the most part. And then I started my brand, Salt. Started my brand about 2018, 2019. So 7, 8 years ago. Was working in agencies whilst running the brand from home. Like classic, like bootstrapping, startup founder journey.
What was that pivot for you when you like, okay, now I can really focus on Salt now?
I think it was about 1.5 years into the journey. It was a bit of an overnight situation. Every week I was having a call with our marketer who was like consulting for us. And he was like, you need to just put some content on TikTok. You need to just get something up there. Every week he was mentioning it. And I was like, I'm gonna make this one video just so you shut up and stop talking about it.
Mad.
And then we can just like leave TikTok behind and just never talk about it again. Posted it, I think I posted it about 11:45 p.m. UK time. I was like, I'm just gonna post this and then go to sleep. And then I woke up the next morning like 7 a.m. and it was on like 2 million views. Jumped into the Shopify, sales were going crazy.
Mad.
And then by the end of that week, it was on about 5 million views or something like that.
Mad.
And at the time, like I think that week we did about 10K revenue, which at the time the business was like crazy. And I was like, all right, we've got something here. So I like immediately phoned up my agency job at the time and I was like, put in the notice.
Like
Even though
instantly?
instantly.
From that one wave?
Instantly. I was like, that just put so much wind behind us. Maybe it was like a little bit, a little bit early to like call up the job and be like, it's, you know, let's like hand the notice. But I fully backed it. I mean, we already had like a good customer base. It was growing. We had the traction to TikTok, and I was like, this is going to be a channel that we can now leverage and use.
Mad.
And then 3 months later, I was in Bali.
Basically, you're running this brand for about 1.5 years. You post this one TikTok.
Yeah.
Boom! Just blows up overnight. Movie scene, call the boss.
Hey, listen, I quit.
You know, I don't want to like discredit the effort and the journey that I went on by saying it was an overnight success and I just got lucky with the viral video. But like there was 2.5 years of work before that video went viral. There was 1 year of developing a product and there was 1.5 years of launching the brand, building the website. And then that's when the video went viral.
Wow.
Took things to the next level.
So the overnight success was actually 2.5 years in the making. I wanted to understand a bit more of the process behind this.
I feel like you started a bit pre-fast internet money, before it was really called e-commerce. Both in building Salt Grooming as well as Hydrte, you took more than 1 year just for creating the product.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's such an undone thing
Yeah.
in the current state of affairs in e-commerce.
Yeah.
What was like the reasoning behind that?
Any brand will live and die buy its product. And it's like, why are you going to bring a product into the world if it's not something that you're going to use yourself? I think a lot of brands are in like a real rush to just try and get something out there that's going to make them money. Like the goal isn't to make money. The goal is to create an amazing product, and the amazing product then makes the money. Everything is downstream from making the amazing product. So with Salt, you know, I had a problem. I was looking for a product that didn't exist. I tried everything that was out there, and I eventually got to the point where I was like, okay, well, I'm going to make something for myself. And if it does well, then that's amazing. I have to believe in the product. And there's a lot of people that will bring, you know, we spoke about white label, right? They'll put their shiny fancy brand on a product that they've had no effort in building and developing. They can tell a story about it, but it's not their story. They can talk about the ingredients that the manufacturers put into the product for them, that they've put their brand on, but ultimately people know when someone is talking about something that they believe in. People's bullshit detectors are very, very finely tuned, and it's like they just know when you're just trying to like shell out shit, basically.
It's cool to see that Piers, to me, feels like a grounded counterweight to the get rich fast internet money noise. You apply really good branding with a shitty product. You might get people to buy, but you don't get them to buy multiple times. And so your LTV, your lifetime value per client, stays very low. Whereas Piers is combining great product with great branding, and that's how he has been able to persistently grow in such a significant way.
In a way, I kind of understand that most modern founders feel like the branding should be the most important part of their company or mission. But like as Piers shows, he built the product first. He built it to solve his own problem. On top of that, he built the branding. So it has something to stand on, and I think that makes it really solid.
So yeah, product came first, always. But what about Piers himself?
Say after TikTok organic blew up, right? What were the next sort of moves within content for you?
It was a funny one for me because like the content, it never really came naturally to me. And I guess like it was partly being shy and partly being scared of like exposing myself and like getting negative feedback and that sort of stuff. Because, you know, that video, I think if we look at it now, it's probably got more than 1,000 comments. And like, you know, the internet can be a very cruel place. And it's like, when you got a video of this like young kid who's like, you know, taking care of himself and like starting.
Oh my days. What are they saying? What are they saying?
That, bro, I mean, some like bad stuff, man.
Damn.
And it's like you need to have really thick skin to look at that stuff and just not take it personally, which I was pretty good at. But it's like, you know, if I had the choice of exposing myself to that kind of negativity and not exposing myself to it, and I don't like literally need this channel, then naturally you're going to think, okay, well, I'll focus my efforts elsewhere. So I'm not like the best like case study of someone that, you know, got this golden ticket, this viral video, and then just went bam, 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 like spam loads of viral videos. But what I did do was I kept making content slowly, but I was fortunate enough that, and if we'll look at my TikTok, I actually haven't opened my TikTok in maybe 9 months, maybe longer.
I looked at it and it's like, your numbers are crazy, man.
Yeah, it's like, I think every other video was doing at least 1 million views.
1 million views on every other video. And bro simply closed the app. But Piers wasn't done building. It's 34 degrees. We just ran through the rice fields, making it a perfect setting to experience his second brand, Hydrte.
So you never tried this before?
I've never tried the product, man.
Really? Now we gotta change that. Right, are you a blood orange guy? Are you a strawberry kiwi or citrus? I'm seeing you as a strawberry kiwi guy.
Okay, yeah, let's push. It smells like a candy floss, like
okay.
cotton candy. Cheers, my man.
Cheers.
Wow. Oh my days, bro. That's too good.
It's good shit, right? It's good shit, right?
You have to try some of this.
I'm gonna make my man one.
Wow. Well, good, yeah. Wow.
Right.
Good.
we need to clip that and get that, like, put some meta spend behind it. Straight away. We need to get that ad out.
Wow.
Good shit.
Giving it away.
Good shit.
Wow.
Good shit.
Woo.
This was born out of the same concept of how I built Salt. I built the brand on creating one product that solved my own problem because I couldn't find a hair product that did the thing I wanted it to. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna make it myself. This is the same thing. Like when I moved to Bali, I was playing a lot of paddle. Like electrolytes are just, you need them out here. Like look at us right now, like we're sweating buckets, right? Yeah. And the product's just sold itself really. You know, if you bring a good product into a market where there's not really that much competition, it's just gonna sell itself.
This is interesting and not to be mistaken because the viral video didn't build his business. What Piers had already built underneath it
did.
What I find interesting about this episode is it's very different from any that we've done before, because we've done many episodes, like one guy in Dubai, he's done over like 60 euro in real estate deals through just a 30,000 following, and he's also very like low effort in his content kind of, but very consistent still. But then you're like, nah, like there's different ways to go about this, you know. And
I've said it like before, like it really just comes down to your offering and your product. If it is a killer product and it is a killer offering, and you invest a lot of, you know, time and effort and sometimes money into creating something that you really care about, that is the foundation. And if you have the good product, there's so many other ways of getting yourself out there than content. Content can be like a fast track. It can be a hack, of course, but
it was for you, right? It did a lot, like in your journey.
Yeah. But if we'd have done that on day one, that wouldn't have done very much for
exactly
us,
because you needed to be set up in the exact way to be able to convert that.
Like I wouldn't have known what to have done with all of that attention at the time. It was because we had all of this digital infrastructure set up, and we were like SEO optimized, and we had like all of our like lead forms, and we had all of our marketing email ecosystem in place, that we were able to capture that attention and remarket it and like continually engage that audience through different channels other than just content. So all that to say that like content should form part of like a wider marketing ecosystem rather than being the ecosystem. That's not to say that you can't scale and build a business just putting content out, but that's the way that we've kind of done it, and that's the way that I'd look at it, is that it's not just content, it's everything else, and then the content is like a leverage tool. You need to build something cool first, and then you bring the eyeballs in, rather than bringing the eyeballs in and not really knowing,
and just figuring it out.
Basically,
yeah.
When you look at content and what it does, what it's a tool for gathering and nurturing attention. But it's only useful if you then proactively funnel that into areas where it can grow, where it can be fostered, right? And so Piers' value-first approach to building his brands, to building his companies, allows for that to happen.
Branding should be the proof of quality and not the promise of quality. If nothing is built, then what are you going to amplify? Then it's just going to be amplified for a bit, and then it's going to fall because the product can't stand on its own anymore.
I just need money and vibes. Remember the dream home? 64 days into the build, and Piers takes me inside the thing he visualized years ago.
like day 64, something like that. So it's just over 2 months. And this will be the front door here. This is just a storage room.
I already feel at home.
This whole room is like big open plan, like kitchen, lounge, dining area. And then you'll like open the doors out here into the recovery area. And we're gonna have a sauna here, hot tub here, ice bath here, a couple seating areas, dining areas, a little yoga platform. The health and safety over here is top notch. You scared of heights?
It's God's plan, bro. If it's my time, it's my time.
Okay, this is feeling stable. Wasn't terrifying at all. This is so sick. So I've never been up here before. This floor got put in about 2 weeks ago, but I've seen the ladder every day, and I'm like, nah, not today, maybe tomorrow.
I keep saying it, bro. This is such a boss move.
Yeah. You can see when you build things consistently and sustainably, you can see things coming from really far away. So it's like we can see our like revenue trajectory and therefore the performance of the company, like, you know, 1 to 2 years in advance. We can do financial modeling. We've got, you know, the more time you spend in the game, the more data you get, the more accurately you can predict on the way that you're going. And it's like, I saw this move coming a few years ago. So it's cool that it's finally like materializing and real. And yeah, man, it's quite surreal. It's quite hard to like get a grasp on it.
One thing that I notice with dream chasers, you can say entrepreneurs, but just dream chasers in general that have accomplished a certain thing, oftentimes when it comes in the real, it's not the first time they've seen it. The first time they've seen it is like when they've visualized it and they've already seen it countless times, and so it doesn't feel unfamiliar. Do you have the same?
I don't think too much about it because you can sit there and you can pat yourself on the back loads and just let that kind of go to your ego and, you know, let this sort of stuff become a part of your personality. There's a lot of people that will wear their accomplishments and wear material things as like, you know, this is who I am. These things are the sums of who I am. If you just focus on continually providing value yourself, then things just start to happen rather than you having to go there and shout about the things that are happening or the things that you want or the things that you've done. Just focus on doing the things that you know you need to do and eventually it'll come good.
Bringing us right back to the question we flew out here for. A magnetic personal brand, 1 million views whenever he wants them. And his last post was 8 months ago. Why?
You know, why am I not leveraging it more? I don't know. I'm like a private person. I don't want to be sharing like loads of fragments of my life here and there and everywhere. You know, this is the first time I've actually done something with anyone in probably 4 years. Because we're friends, you know, I trust you and I know you. But like, yeah, there's been many opportunities to do things like this over the years, and I've always kind of like shut the door on it. Not because I'm shy and I don't want to do it, but it's just because I don't want to share my life in that sort of way. So yeah, that's an element of it. And then this is the lazy answer, is that we don't actually need the content in order for the brand to scale. It's scaling really well on its own through like paid media and all of the other marketing channels that we go through. So I don't know, like it's almost like the creator economy nowadays. It's almost like, you know, brands will live and die by their content. But I'm not going to say our brand is like a heritage brand. We've been going for like 7 years, so it's pre-COVID, which is like quite rare these days to see a brand that's pre-COVID. But we've got enough going on with the brand and through our different channels where we don't like need the content in order to scale.
Yeah, perhaps it would be a move in the future, right, where it's more so like a legacy move, you know what I mean? Like where it's not directly tied to your direct income flow, but it's more so, you know, you've built 5, 10, whatever brands, and now you're coming out to say, okay, like who is the guy behind, or you know what I mean? There's different angles, obviously, to approach it. But I obviously here, when you're creating this premium feel, and you have different sources of acquisition, there's different assets to accomplish that specific objective.
I think the word used there, legacy, and like that's a really good way of looking at it, and that's definitely something that I think more established brand founders should be stepping into, including myself. And that's a channel that I haven't done yet. But like when you look at like your George Heatons from Represent, when you look at the guys from Cole Buxton,
Gymshark,
exactly, like that, you know, they've got YouTube vlogs that go on for like 20, 30, 40 minutes, and that's like a behind the brand look. And I think that builds so much equity with an audience that are already invested in the brand. That's a really powerful way of doing content. But yeah, for the point where I'm in, the kind of like fast, snappy little flashes into my life on TikTok, that doesn't feel super aligned with myself and the brand right now. But yeah, stepping into more long form content is definitely something that's going to happen, I think, at some point soon.
I see it.
The fact is that Piers is ignoring a super magnetic personal brand. Creators are trying their hardest to emulate only 10% of what this man does effortlessly, but there's an intention behind that. And so I think he's aware of, firstly, the personal brand being super magnetic, and secondly, the potential influence of that personal brand mixing up the perception of his entity brand. And therefore, in the same approach that he takes to his companies, he is a value first type of guy. He's always prioritizing value, meaning for him, it's most important that the perception of his products and his content align for these brands.
I don't feel like every brand can even use the same blueprint. So for instance, if you look at Burberry, or if you look at like Bathing Ape, what they did at the start with their clothing brands is it was really like scarce, and scarcity creates value. What he kind of does is the scarcity in his like branding also adds to the premium feel of his entity brand. Of course, you don't see him sitting in the attic like packing boxes. That would kind of like go against the direction. With BrandFlow, we take all these things into account, so we don't have like one set blueprint that we throw out on our clients, but we actually like look at the brand, we look at what's necessary, and we adjust our ecosystem to their brand.
Solid, man. Definitely. That's why we're doing the series, to analyze different personal brands to see why they work, to also simultaneously grow our muscles in terms of seeing why someone is doing something, why something is working, and then being able to take that, implement it into our own approach in the personal brands we work with.
That is the paradox of the anti-personal brand. The man who ignores has more pull than the people chasing it, because he built something worth paying attention to first. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next episode.